So now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about choice of executor if you are going to go through probate, because this is the person that is in effect taking over. And a lot of attorneys, and certainly all the banks, are going to recommend typically what's called a corporate fiduciary. Mellon Bank, PNC, Washington Savings and Trust, some type of corporate entity, and you hear, oh, they do things right, they know what they're doing, they've been doing it for 100 years, they have a whole trust department, they have a whole estate department. Well, I am not a fan of giving up control to a bank or an attorney, all right? I won't tell you I've never used a bank or a corporate fiduciary as an executor or a trustee, but I have a strong preference to keep the power in the family. So typically, if we have a husband and wife situation, I will make the wife the executrix for the husband, and the husband the executor for the wife, and then at the second death, I will typically recommend that they name one of their children. All right? The spouse or the child can always hire out services. If they need an attorney to help with the tax returns, the inventory, the filing with the court, all the things that need to be done, they can hire that attorney, preferably on an hourly, not a percentage basis. And if the attorney isn't appropriate, they could fire them and go somewhere else. They can also hire a CPA firm to do the tax return. They don't have to be a tax genius. And if the CPA firm doesn't return their calls or botches the tax return or does something wrong, they could fire them and hire somebody else. The same with maintaining the investments. They don't have to be an investment expert. They can go out and hire that investment expert. And if the investment expert doesn't return their calls or has bad service or has bad returns or isn't appropriate, they could fire them and hire somebody else. If you name Mellon or PNC or somebody else and they take over, you can't fire them. You know, that you're giving up your control. So I am a big fan of keeping the power in the family. Now, occasionally, you can't do it. Then the next issue is, let's say there's a couple kids, and people say, oh, I better name all of them because I don't want to offend any of the children. No, no, no. Any child who knows what's going on, if they are really understanding of the situation, they don't want to be the executor. They don't want to be the trustee. It's a pain in the you-know-what. A lot of times they end up waiving the fee anyway, so it's just a lot of additional work and a lot of additional responsibility for them, often for no fee, usually some aggravation involved. So you should not feel badly about hurting somebody's feelings by not including them as the executor. In fact, if you have 2 children and you're trying to figure out, or even more than 2 children, and you're trying to figure out which one, well, A, will they be honest? Will they actually fulfill your intent? But if you think they all are and they're all equal, maybe a bias towards somebody who is local, but let's say that they're all local, they're all honest, I would name the one that you like the least. All right? It's no honor, it's a burden. And you think I'm kidding, but I really mean it. This is not a pleasant thing. Do not feel bad about not including somebody as the executor.